I am wealthy.
I am wealthy.
I am successful.
I am successful.
I am in one of the biggest markets of the world.
I am in one of the biggest markets of the world.
I have the blueprint.
I have the blueprint.
I have the leadership.
I have the leadership.
I have the desire.
I have the desire.
My why is super, super huge.
My why is super, super huge.
I have no excuses.
I have no excuses.
I'm here on a Saturday night
I'm here on a Saturday night
while everyone's partying.
while everyone's partying.
I deserve this.
I deserve this.
All right, 2020 is our year, guys. Have a seat. All right, guys, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for really being here on a Saturday night. You guys could be partying. You're welcome. And thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. This shows me that you guys are very, very serious about becoming financially free. See, a little bit about myself. I started working online at the age of 18. I'm 29. I was born and raised in New York City, right? I remember growing up in Harlem. I got to witness the poverty mindset. I got to see so many things that I wasn't supposed to see as a child, right? My parents are from Ecuador. So I am the first generation in this country. I was born here. First of the first that's here in this country. My mother actually crossed the border. She went through like a 30-day kind of thing to get here. My father got here somehow. And, you know, I feel like it's up to me to fulfill the destiny of retiring my bloodline, helping and giving my family, my bloodline, an actual name, something to be very proud of, right? That's what we all want. We all have a dream, right?
Yes.
We all have desires,
Yes.
right? Can anybody tell me their desire, their biggest desire, the biggest reason why they want to become successful?
I want to retire my parents.
You want to retire your parents.
I want to retire my parents too.
You want to retire your parents, right? And notice, this is something that we actually have in common.
I don't want my kids to work.
You don't want your kids to work.
I want to have time to spend with my children.
One more time with your children. You see,
Retire my bloodline and accumulate generational wealth.
that's right. Now, a lot of people ask me, John, how have you been seeing more success? How are you traveling? How are you doing these things? While everybody's at work, you're out on vacation for 3 weeks. I shifted my mindset into thinking like an entrepreneur, thinking like an investor. It's not easy though, I'll be honest. It's not easy to transition. It's been a very, very long road, right? There's been a lot of times where I felt down and depressed because it wasn't working for me, right? And now I'm here to teach you guys what it took for me to get here. For me, it started with the cash flow quadrant. This is the first experience, the first time where my mindset started to change. You guys are familiar with Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes.
Robert Kiyosaki?
Yes.
Yes.
I was 18 years old when I first learned about this. So how does it work? We got employees. We got self-employed people, business owners, and investors. So 95% of people are on this left side of the quadrant, and only 5% of people are on this right side of the quadrant. So can anybody give me any employee positions? Some doctors,
Lawyers.
Social workers.
doctors, lawyers,
Cops.
Sanitation people.
sanitation, so like sanitation, janitors, right? You have, cops, firefighters, right? It's a long list. Now, when you're trying to figure out how money works, it all leads to this. You see, employees use a certain system to make money. Self-employed people use a certain system to make money. Business owners and investors use a certain system to make money. So for you to figure out this money thing, you have to figure out what system you're using. Okay? So employees, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be in sanitation, a janitor, a cop, a firefighter. You're still working per hour. So the system here is a per hour system. So if you're making $15 an hour, how much is an hour of your lifetime worth?
$15.
$15. If you're making $20 an hour, then how much is 1 hour of your lifetime? So is it safe to say that you won't get the time back and you'll still have to contribute more hours to make that money because you're in the per hour system?
Correct.
Okay, so you guys made the decision to get yourself a job and be in this system. See, growing up, I asked a question once upon a time in middle school. I asked my teacher, I said, Miss, is there ever going to be a class where they teach us about money? She laughed at me. She said, when you get to high school. I went to high school, never got a class about money, never got a class about real estate, trading, building credit, right? Building wealth,
Right.
right? Personal development, the important things that are very, very necessary in this life. You know, how to make money, like that should be a real topic in school, but it's not. They don't teach you these things in school. Okay, now I'm not gonna get too into it. Why? Because I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, right? But you know now that if you're here and you're using this system, the next step is for you to start thinking for yourself, because here you're working for somebody. The next step is for you to work for yourself. So usually people come right down here to self-employed. So they're like, okay, you know what? It's time out. I work for myself. So they think of certain ways to work for themselves. Does anybody know any self-employed opportunities?
Personal training.
Perfect. Mr. Brolick. Personal training. Personal trainer, yes. You got barbers. They work for themselves, right? Barbers,
Grocery stores. Grocery stores. Bodegas.
right? That are you speaking about somebody owning
Owning, yes.
a deli?
Yes.
Then that might be on the business owner, to be honest. But that's on the business owner side. But we'll get into it. Barbers, real estate agents,
Oh, contract workers.
real estate agents.
Plumbers.
Not sure how they get paid, but if they're working for themselves as a plumber, then they'll be here.
Right.
So this is good. I remember at the age of 18, I had my first self-employed job position. I took a leap of faith. I went on Craigslist and I found myself a self-employed position. So you can make $1,000 and above. I was like, oh man, this gotta be a scam. That's the first thing I thought. I'm on Craigslist. I showed my mother. She said, don't trust those things. And I said to myself, I've been working since the age of 13. I started as a newspaper boy. I already did a lot of summer youth jobs. I was tired of the $300-$400 checks. If there was a chance to at least learn on how you can make $1,000 and above, I said, maybe I should look into it, right? So I took a train. I'm coming all the way from the Bronx, right? I took the train right to Times Square. Got on the 7 train, went all the way to Flushing, right? That's the last stop. Right, and then I took a bus to Long Island. Mind you, I'm 18. First time, I don't know where I'm going. I get there, some old shady guy, and I'm like, oh my God. I said, are you the guy on the Craigslist ad? And he said, nah, man. Smoking his cigarette. He should be coming in soon. You know, he's always late. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Whatever, like, you know, I'm in my mind, I was already getting ready to leave, but then I see somebody coming in with a suit. It was a boss. He knew Spanish too. He said, are you John? Shook my hand, gave me a firm handshake, and I got a good vibe from him. I did. So here was the deal. The deal was, it was a sales job, right? So it was sales. Self-employed. The product was a can of foam. It was a can of foam, and the foam. The purpose of that can was for you to clean your car. Like you'll spray it on your rims. You could put it on your headlights, on your tail lights, and the pitch was very simple. I mean, it was simple to me now, but back then it was a little more complicated. It was a little weird actually. But I had 30 seconds, right? We will be posted at a gas station. We'll have a desk. We'll have the cans. And every time somebody will come to pump their gas, I had 30 seconds to talk to them, right? Because think about it. They get out the car. They're pouring the gas. Now somebody comes and talks to you. You got to listen at least, right? Like you got to hear that person out. So I knew I had 30 seconds. And the supervisor told me, here's what you're gonna say. You're gonna try to make them laugh a little bit. He's giving me little pointers, little sales tactics. And I took that advice from him, and I went up to the first person. I said, hey, how's it going? I like your shoes. I like your jeans. How's the kids? And that's what he told me to say. So I took his advice, and then I felt a little awkward. I said, okay, do you want me to clean your rims? I got this pretty cool foam. He said, okay. I mean, who's going to say no to an 18-year-old kid offering you to clean your rims? So I put the foam, and I said, how about your headlights? How about your tail lights? I think this thing will really work on that. This is the first time I'm doing it too, so I'm seeing it for myself. I'm seeing it for myself. This is my first.
You didn't know if it worked.
I didn't know if it worked. I had no idea it was going to work. So I took a leap of faith. Everything's a leap of faith. It's the only right. And I figured it was the rim, so it wouldn't be too bad. And it worked. It worked. I cleaned it off. I said, oh, shit. It worked. It was sparkling. And the headlights and the taillights, sometimes they get kind of old.
Yeah.
It worked. Like, it really made the thing look new. And the customer looked at it. The customer took his shades off. He said, I want one. And he bought it. Was making $3 a can. All right, some people will buy by packets, right? They selling in packets. I remember, and there was different customers, different type of customers. Remember, this is not a per hour. It's sales. So the first sale was $3.
How much was
$3.
$3?
I forgot how much the can was. It was like $13 or $14, something like that. But it was $3. And my commission was $3. My first week, I made $500.
Nice.
I got a lot of no's, a lot of rejections, but I didn't give up. I was consistent, and I worked a lot of hours. It wasn't a 40-hour kind of thing. I did like 60, 70 hours. I did the calculation, and I did 7 days straight. So,
They traveled along whatever
Mhm.
out there.
Now, think about it. I started work at my first week. I made $500. I worked 7 days out the week. I did 60 to 70 hours. Most people would say, no, it's not worth it. Would you agree? I did have that. I had that thought. I had that thought in my head. I said, this might not be worth it. But I said, what if I get better at it? So I did. I got better. Eventually, I started making $1,000 and above. I started outselling my supervisor. See, there's one thing that I never lacked, right? I lacked a blueprint growing up. I didn't have a blueprint on how to be wealthy, but I had good examples on people working hard, which were my parents. Obviously, they was always working, so they were hard-working people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I decided to work hard here, and I started making my first $1,000. The only thing is, it may not be a per-hour system, but you still gotta exchange the time. It's still time. Time was the problem. I was 18 years old. It was a summer gig. I had to move on from there, right? I went to college. Then I got offered a job at Staples. Went back to becoming an employee. Now, when I transitioned mentally here, I was 23. I was 23 years old. The last job, I got rid of this. And I told myself, this is good. Because I was a little bit more in control of everything. But I wanted to be here. This is what I wanted. I wanted this, and I definitely wanted to learn how to do this. business owners, and investors. Now, how do you think like a business owner? What do you need to become a business owner? It's real simple. Here, the key is building a system. Building a system. Save yourself some time, energy, and money. Okay, guys? As a business owner, the system that you're using is not a per hour system. It's not you exchanging your time, but building a system and building a team. Network marketing was the only thing that truly made sense to me on this quadrant. I didn't want to look into becoming a deadly owner. I didn't want to look into owning a franchise. First of all, I don't even have that capital. First of all, the risk is too high. The risk to reward ratio is too deep, meaning that you have to give in at least 5 years for you to start seeing any type of revenue. So network marketing was the first thing that made sense to me on this side of the quadrant. A low risk, high reward, right? So what do you guys prefer as a business owner? Do you prefer to invest $20, $30, $40, $50,000 up front for you to start a business, or do you prefer to spend $225 on a business?
225.
How about 500?
500. That's fine.
Even 1,000 is still good to launch a business.
Correct.
Now you have to go from a traditional mindset, which requires you to invest thousands and thousands of dollars because of all the traditional expenses, light, space, the rent, the employees you have to pay out, the things you have to pay for, right? The products, the services, you have to pay out so much more as a traditional business owner. But now the key is a digital business. A digital business. This is the key. I've worked a lot of different compensation plans with a lot of different companies, and I did it digitally. Was one of the first people to actually ever do it. I just never really noticed I was doing it, to be honest. If I think about it now, when I was first contacting people on MySpace about this travel club I was in at the moment, right? About this other financial software I had at the moment, I had no idea. I didn't really put the pieces together, but I was doing everything digitally. Remember, it's all leap of faith. I had a awakening. I wanted to pursue other things in here, because as I spent more time finding ways to make the business side of the quadrant work, more doors, more avenues started to open up for me. So I started to learn about other things. Now my time, the 40, 50, 60 hours I was spending here, now I was spending over here, learning more and more and meeting more like-minded people. You see, you could be a part-timer, a some-timer, a full-timer, an all-timer. At this point, I was a full-timer. The cool thing about becoming a full-timer is that the ones that are already successful here, the ones that are already putting in the work and are seeing that success, will appreciate the ambition of you wanting to be here full-time, because this is not easy to do. Especially if you come from an employee mindset. Remember, as soon as you come out the womb, who's the first people to take you in?
Employees.
Doctors, nurses, employees. I know the doctors put me in my mother's skin, right? Because they're supposed to skin to skin, right? Because so the baby, right? My mom's an employee. 95% chances of your parents are probably employees. Then we went home to an employee household. in an employee community, because remember, 95% of the world works like this.
Right.
So there's a 95% chance this is everybody's situation. That makes sense?
Yes.
Do the numbers, like really do the statistics. You start to really calculate this stuff and it makes sense. So since you were born, the second you come out, how old are you, Trav? 32. How old are you, Zacchaeus? So for the past 20 to 30 years, we've been here on this side of the quadrant. We're wired to be here. Our minds, we're programmed to be here. When we watch movies, when we watch TV, right? And what do you see? You see the kids going to school, daddy and mommy going to work, and you're watching that, and that's how life is happening. You think that's how life is supposed to be. That's the norm. So to take your entire life from going from the left side to the right side, you have to rewire your mindset. You gotta do a whole entire paradigm shift. And at first, it won't be a physical shift. It's a leap of faith. It's a mental shift. Then it becomes a spiritual shift. And then you finally get there. And you're like, oh, I'm here. Years later. For some people, I'll be honest, for some people, they don't go through the biggest struggles that this quadrant has. Because everybody has a different story, a different learning capability. So what took me years, I've seen in this company, it takes them 3 months. In IM Academy, it's taking people 6 months, 12 months to be successful here and here. So what's an investor? What is IM Academy? It's not a trading company.
Educational platform.
That's right. It's a trading educational platform. It's a school. So when somebody asks you, hey, so what do you do now, Carlos? You know, I work here and I go to school here. It should be as simple as that. You go to school where? I go to IM Academy. Wow, never heard of that school.
I never thought about it like that. I never say that.
That's funny.
I trade. That's what I say. And then they look at me. No,
true.
thank you. Bye.
There you go. There you go.
Ah,
We go to school to learn how to trade and become entrepreneurs as well. That is the purpose behind IM Academy. IM Academy is teaching people to go from this left side of the quadrant completely to the right side of the quadrant, because it's not just trading, it's also business. We have network marketing and trading, where the 5% of people are. That's why I love this company, because the focus of it, the mission statement, what it represents. Trading. You have loans. People that do loans. This is money working for money. As an investor, your mindset is to have money make you money. It's a whole different mindset. Now, if you don't have any money, it's kind of hard to be here, right? So IM Academy makes it easier, because we have a business plan for you. If you're lacking capital, we have a business plan for you, where you can make residuals, you can make commission, get you some extra cash flow. Your job will take care of your bills, and little by little, you'll build some capital. By the time you're ready to start trading live, right? Live money, you could pour some in there. So it starts and it ends with the cash flow quadrant. You have to know where you come from to where you want to go. This will not work for you if you don't understand where you come from and if you don't know where you're going. Some people join this just to join. They don't know, they don't even know about this quadrant. It's our job as a company, as a team, to educate people on this cash flow quadrant and teach them the benefits of having money work for money. Because once money's working as hard as you're working for your money, now you have a really good situation. You got some capital coming in and you're not doing anything to do it, to make that money, because the money's making you money. When you have a system working for you, now you have a system bringing you in money. You know how cool this part is? This is, once you got this thing really going for you, you can know about it, you can hear about it, you can see other people do it, but you only experience that feeling when you go to sleep and you wake up and there's more money in your bank account.
Amen.
Okay, guys? So it starts and it ends where? The cash flow quadrant. Where does it start and where does it end? There you go, guys. If you want to learn more about this, you tune into Robert Kiyosaki, right? You watch his YouTube videos. You can read his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But this is the first thing that you have to understand if you want to become a part of IM Academy, if you want to become a full-time trader. And you must be okay with understanding that it won't be easy. Okay, because we are doing a complete paradigm shift. We're rewiring our whole entire lives. So now, people always ask, how do you do it? Right? That's always the big question.
Right.
How are we going to get this done? There's nothing wrong with that question. But you have to understand that there's a question that's actually more important than the how.
It's the why.
It is the why. Why do you want to make that shift? Why do you want to become financially free? Why do you really want this? Then it's the what. What are you going to do about it? Once you figure that out, how are we going to do it? So one of the reasons why I wanted to make that shift was because I remember me wanting guy talk with my father, but he was never around because he was always away at work. I remember me wanting to be, I wanted to have real conversations with my mom, but she was always at work. Right? There was some trouble, some questions I had. She was always at work. I wanted to make sure that when I started building my family, I wanted to be there for them. This is what has gotten me through a lot of downs in the business world, a lot of downs in trading, because this will create your consistency. The days that you feel like not doing anything, the days that you feel like you don't want to study, the days you feel like you don't want to put in the work, the minute you think about your why, your spirit will start to come to life. You will really remember why you started doing this business. The next question is, what are you going to do about it? So what are we doing about it?
We're learning.
We're learning how to trade. We're learning how to build a digital business, and not just a digital business, the digital business of this decade. Okay? How are we going to do this? By tuning in to Go Live, tuning into IM Academy, tuning into the Zooms, doing the webinars, taking the trade, do a presentation, do a one-on-one. That's how you're going to do this business. That's how you're going to learn how to trade. By being consistent. But notice how being consistent has nothing to do with the how. It has to do everything with the why. We all have the same blueprint. Whoever has the biggest why will make the how work for them. Remember that. Whoever has the biggest why has the best chance at succeeding here at the how. I'm telling you, we all spend the same 225 to get in this business opportunity, but we're all seeing different results. Obviously, there's a lot of other factors out there, but the why is the main one. A lot of the downs that I've had, a lot of the times that the businesses didn't work for me, the times that I was being lazy, the times that I didn't want to put in the work, was because this advice went over my head for over 5 years. I said, this is corny. The why. Tell me the how. Because I could work hard. I know I could work hard. But what happens? The how's not that easy. And I failed to miss out on this, on the why. This is what wakes me up in the morning, and this is what keeps me up at night. While everyone is sleeping, I'm remembering my why, and I'm up at London session. Why does this company exist? This company exists because the mission statement is to empower, enrich, and educate the masses. Chris Terry wanted to give the average Joe a way of learning Forex for a good price, a very good price. What he did about it, he started IM Academy. And how did he do it? He took a leap of faith. Don't let this go over your heads. This right here. Spend time on your why. I promise you, everything that I'm going to go over now, everything that the company teaches you, won't matter if you do not know your why. This is the foundation. So why join IM Academy? Why do this business? Is it worth my time? These are questions that I had when I first looked into this opportunity. Does this make sense? Is it worth my time? Okay. So what is needed for a business to be successful? What do we need? Number one, you must have a good product. This is how I analyzed whether this opportunity was for me or not for me. A good product or service. That's the first question I ask myself when I look into a business. Is it a good product and is it a good service? IM Academy is a beautiful service because it has over 30 educators pouring their life out to the students for them to learn how to trade on a daily basis. That was one of the first things that caught my attention. Right? Is it unique? It definitely is unique. It's a digital trading company, educational trading platform. And it teaches entrepreneurship as well. So that was one check for me. I said, is it a good product, a good service? Check. It must be affordable. Let me ask you guys a question. You guys think this business is affordable?
Yes. Definitely.
Before IM Academy, I actually purchased two other platforms. One was $500 and the other one was $1,000. And I thought that was cheap compared to the other courses that I saw out there. There's courses that are $5,000, $10,000, $70,000. So one course that's that much. $20,000
To learn Forex?
Yes.
to learn how to trade Forex.
I paid somebody $250.
So it must be affordable. Is it affordable?
Yes.
For $225, even a third world place can afford $225. Even a homeless person can scrape $225 from the streets, collecting bottles. This is a real story, guys. You have somebody that was sleeping in the back of their Uber car, right? They were doing Uber, making money from Uber, was paying $20 for a local gym to shower in I Am Academy. This is why I do not believe in excuses. Because of the testimonies that we have here in I Am Academy. $225 can change someone's life and has changed someone's life. So is it affordable? Check. All right. It must have a good marketing plan. A marketing plan. So, do we have a good marketing plan in this company?
Yes.
You have traditional marketing, which will cost you millions of dollars for you to put your business out there in commercials, in billboards, and flyers. The traditional way of thinking is very expensive. Now, as a CEO, as a boss, for you to think about dishing out that much money into marketing when there's no guarantee, remember, in business there's no guarantee, puts that person at a big risk for thinking with a traditional mindset. Our marketing plan is a network marketing plan. So the customers are incentivized because they have the Get To and Free program, which is driving the business, right? If you're an IBO, an independent business owner within the company, you're driving the business, you guys are getting paid, making this a good marketing plan, because word of mouth is the most powerful advertisement tool. Not a billboard. I don't care what a billboard says. I care about what you guys say about that. That makes sense? So check. It has a good marketing plan. Low risk, right? All of this is low risk. Low risk. Low risk. And if you want to become an IBO, how much is it? $15 to run a digital business a month? Number 4, it must have leadership. Guys, time and time again, I've seen companies go up and go down because of their leadership. Leadership is everything. Do we have leadership here in this company? Yes. Not only do we have leadership, but we have the best leadership. We have people who are in Forbes magazine. Take a look at Alex Morton. Look at Jason Brown, Matt Rosa, Hall of Famers in network marketing now. Multiple 6- and 7-figure earners from previous companies saw the vision here in I Am Academy, and today they are here in this company, bringing their leadership skills to I Am Academy. Huge check. We're going to give this 2 checks. Okay? It must have a real mission statement. What is the purpose behind the company? Does anybody know the purpose? What is the mission statement of this company? Say that again. The 3 E's: to empower, enrich, and educate the masses. Huge check. Other companies, their purpose could be health, very important. Could be life insurance, right? The purpose behind life insurance is to protect you, right? There's different mission statements, but the 3 E's of this company is something that's very, very unique. It's very different. That's another thing that stood out to me. All of this is unique. Is it unique? Check. It must have culture. Guys, do we not have culture in this company already?
Yes.
Do we not have culture? Guys, culture, believe it or not, it's what's made one of the most successful companies in the world successful. We have escape trips, right? So if you become a chairman, you can go on a cruise. You can start earning lifestyle bonuses, right? We go out as a team. We've traveled around the world as a team. The conventions we've been to are beautiful. And after these big conventions, we go out to celebrate. We're normal people, so we like to turn up as well. We go to clubs, right? We go catch some movies together. Even when we trade, it can be a very fun night. Like trading and having fun at the same time is possible. All right? Johannes, when we went to Las Vegas, was that not one of the best times you've ever had in your life?
Twice.
Here's a big one. Here's a huge one. For a business to become successful, it must be digital nowadays. Any company that is not digital, that is not based online, won't be in business 5 years from now, right? Blockbuster is a good example. They're not in business anymore.
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us. Toys R Us has so much power. They could have done anything with it.
They wanted to stay for the model.
But the leadership, the thinking,
Yeah, they were.
the mindset, they didn't shift. It must have daily value. There's been times I've gotten sold. I've gotten sold before to lots of products. You know what happens when I go home? Nothing. I look at it and there's absolutely nothing I can do with it. Maybe for a day or so. Here we have daily value. Guys, can you not go on IM Academy on a daily basis and learn something new?
Yes. At whatever time.
At whatever time. We have 30 educators teaching on a daily basis, from basics to advanced to cryptocurrency channels. There's daily value. Check. 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 This business made sense to me from a businessman's point of view. This is why you have multiple millionaires looking into this company and they're thinking the same thing. They have a list of criteria of what makes sense. So, does this make sense to you guys?
Yes.
If it makes sense to a millionaire, it should make sense to everyone else.
Correct.
And for those that don't understand this, it's because they didn't make a list of what are the things they're looking for. It's like relationships. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you with having a checklist of things that you want in your partner. One of them for me is cooking. Like you gotta know how to chef it up because I get hungry. There's nothing wrong with me wanting that. There's nothing wrong with me wanting a woman that's gonna clean the dishes or do the laundry, right? A female wants a hard-working man. There's nothing wrong with that. Who wants to date a bum? Nobody. So you have to have a list of the things that you want. And the things that I wanted as a businessman was here in IM Academy. Can we get a round of applause for IM Academy?